If you have a big pillow, like from your couch or your bed, go ahead and grab it. We're gonna start off kind of slow today. So you guys are gonna start laying on the pillow. You're gonna kind of sit with your legs out and then push the pillow up against your backbone, your tailbone. And you're gonna lay back on the pillow and kind of splay your shoulders open so your chest is all open, and you kind of get a gentle stretch in your upper body. You can keep your legs bent if you want, or if you really just want to relax, you can them long. You're gonna close your eyes. Take a long inhalation in through your nose and exhale deeply out mouth. Today we're going to be talking about forgiveness. And I hear someone, Lisa, do you mind muting your camera? Thank you. Continue to breathe as I read a quote. To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that the prisoner was you. I'll read it again. To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that the prisoner was you. As you lay on your mat with an open heart, your eyes closed, and you're gently breathing, inhaling and exhaling, give yourself permission to forgive. Forgive your past mistakes. Forgive your bad decisions. Forgive others' wrongdoings. Forgive the world. Forgiveness is liberating, and it's a gift that we often forget about, and we can give it to ourselves on a daily basis. It's also very powerful. When you forgive someone, you hold the power. Forgiveness is not letting go. Letting go is a self-empowered process that is like sweeping something under the rug or trying to tell yourself that something isn't really a big deal, even though your emotions and thoughts say otherwise. Forgiveness is spiritual. True forgiveness takes real work, real long, hard work, lots of prayer and self-reflection, often guided by God. If you want to truly forgive yourself or someone else, all you have to do is take a step back and realize your humanity. No one is perfect. We all make mistakes, and sometimes repeatedly. Sometimes all it takes is to take a step back and choose to love yourself and others first. And then ask yourself, am I being arrogant? Are my actions suggesting that I am perfect when I know I am not? By withholding forgiveness and just letting something go, am I closing off my heart and holding a grudge? Continue to breathe here. You're gonna, on your next inhale, you're gonna bring your toes to touch. So your hips are splaying open, your knees are headed towards the ground. You can bring your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your lower belly. Inhale and exhale. If your breath is heavy or you're having a hard time really steadying it, you can count. I like to inhale for 4 seconds and exhale for 4 seconds. That helps me. When you forgive, you don't change the past, you change the future. You give yourself the power over time to move on, and it is truly healing. We're going to move into a series of heart-opening poses. They're gonna uplift your mood, help you speak your truth, help you have more compassion, overcome guilt, energize your body, cleanse out a lot of old emotion that you might be clinging on to, and really work on your posture and leaning and starting with an open heart in conversation and movement. Inhale, one last large inhale through your nose. And on the exhale, come up to a seated position. And we're going to go into a supported child's pose. So you're just going to roll over onto your knees, take the pillow and kind of just support yourself underneath your body. And you can place your cheek on one side, whatever side you want, it doesn't matter. Feel your lower back open up. You can inch your fingertips a little bit forward just to get a deeper stretch if you want. Draw your tailbone down to the floor. On the next inhale, switch cheeks. When you inhale, really fill that belly up. Feel your lower belly expand between your legs. One more inhalation here. On the exhale, you're going to come up to a tabletop, remove the pillow from underneath you, set it to the side. We'll use it later at the end. We're going to warm up the spine. Make sure your hands are under your shoulders and tabletop. Your knees are under your hip joints. Do some cat cows. You're going to inhale, look up to the ceiling, arch your back, draw your belly button down to the floor. Exhale, draw your shoulders up to the sky, draw your belly in towards the back of your spine. And we're going to alternate between these two movements just to heat up our spine. Exhale, draw your nose down, your chin into your chest. Inhale, look up. Really push away from the mat as you move between the two movements. This is our first chance to align our breath with our movement. Let's do one more round here. I'm gonna take off my coat, I'm getting hot. If you need a coffee break, grab a coffee break. All right, we're gonna do some hip circles now. So we're just gonna get weird. Just open it, like stretch your hips out, do a little couple circles. Find what feels good. You need to arch your back. I do mine really large. I pull my hips all the way back to my heels and come back up. I like to go 3 times on one side and then 3 times on the other. This feels especially good if you just woke up in the morning. We're gonna end in a tabletop again. We're just gonna do a little heel stretch. You're gonna draw your Right foot back. Pull your ankle back to the back of your mat. Get that good calf stretch. You can rock back and forth if that feels good too. Or if you just like that stable movement where you're just pushing away, you can do that as well. Switch sides. Come back to a tabletop. I want you to take your right hand, draw it up to the ceiling. And then you're gonna thread it under your left arm through. Your bottom is in like a child's pose, but you're gonna stretch out that right shoulder and bring your ear all the way down to the floor, your right ear. This feels especially good if you lift weights or you slept weird at night. This is a good shoulder stretch for that. Inhale and exhale. Really fill up that belly as you inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Come back up to the opposite side. Take that left arm up high. Sink your hips back and thread your left arm under your right arm. Bring your left cheek down to the mat. Inhale and exhale. We're going to come back up to tabletop. We're going to go into our first downward dog. Shoot your hips up high. Really be on your tippy toes here. Draw that belly in and then sink your heels back as far as they can go. Your elbows are, the insides of your elbows are shining forward. Your pointer fingers are shining forward to the top of the mat. And your head drops. And pedal out your dog, take it for a walk, stretch your heels out again, or your calves, I'm sorry. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. On your next inhale, really fill up. And then on the exhale, move forward to plank. Hands are under your shoulders. Your heels are kind of tight. If you need to rock back and forth. And inhale here. Don't forget to breathe. You can imagine there's a hook in between your shoulder blades, really, and then somebody pulling like a string through that hook to draw up. It'll give you more stability and strength in your shoulders. Exhale, downward dog. We're gonna do that 5 times back and forth, aligning our breath with our movement, heating up our shoulders. Ready? Inhale, move into plank. Exhale. Inhale, back up to downward dog. Inhale, exhale to plank. Inhale, downward dog. Exhale to plank. Inhale, downward dog. Exhale to plank. One more time up, downward dog. I want you to take your feet as wide as the mat now in downward dog. you're gonna really use your shoulder strength here, and you're gonna take your right hand and you're gonna try to grab your left leg. It might be up here above your knee. If you can reach down to grab your ankle, you can do that as well. And you're gonna shine your heart under your armpit. If you can't do that, you can come up here and do it like this as well. Exhale, come back to downward dog. And we're gonna do the opposite side. Take your left hand, grab your right leg, shine your heart through your right armpit. Exhale, come back to downward dog. You're still in a wide leg downward dog here. You're gonna move into a plank again on the exhale. Now I want you to uncurl your toes and lower yourself down to an up dog. If this is too much for your lower back, you can do like a cobra where you come down just a little bit more. So we're kind of doing a backwards chaturanga this morning. So this is more of a beginner level. If you want more upper arm strength, you can come up off your mat. So your toes are on the floor, your thighs are off the floor, and you're pushing away from the mat. I'll start off here, and then I usually work my way up just to stretch out my back. Curl your toes back over and shoot your hips back up to downward dog. You should start to feel that heat. Your breath might be getting a little bit heavier now. Your legs are still in a wide stance. We're gonna stay in this wide stance as we flow for the next like 10, 15 minutes. So just remember that it's a little bit of a different feel. It's gonna work your hips a little bit different than you normally would in a vinyasa class. Inhale and exhale. And I want you now to walk your hands to the back of the mat slowly. You're gonna hang in a forward fold. Everybody see me? You can grab your elbows, bend your knees generously, feel a stretch in your lower back. Inhale and exhale. You're still in that wide stance. You're gonna come back up to a flat back, a halfway lift. Your hands can be on the floor. They can be on your shins, on your calves, airplane arms, whatever. If you're looking for a strength building class today, you can really challenge yourself and bring your arms up, try to balance. On the exhale, you're gonna come down to a halfway lift or a forward fold again. Inhale, root your feet down into the mat and come up to a mountain pose. Hands to your heart. So instead of doing a normal sun A or sun B, I got a little crafty with the flow this morning. Sometimes I get bored doing the same thing over and over again. All right, so let's do that. We're gonna do that flow like 3 times. Aligning our breath with our movement. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to go slow the first one, so you guys remember what we just did, and then we'll go faster the second and third time. So inhale, reach your hands up high. Float them down to the ground. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Gonna walk our hands out to plank. You're gonna come down to cobra. Lower yourself down, uncurl your toes. They're still wide. Come up to a baby cobra. Exhale. Push yourself up to downward dog with wide leg. Take your right hand under and grab your left leg anywhere you can. Exhale, come back to the opposite side. Walk your hands back into a wide leg forward fold. Stay here for a minute, catch your breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise up. Exhale, prayer hands. Good job. So many little friends this morning. Ready? We're gonna do it again. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Walk your hands out to plank. You can flip your toes and come up to up dog, or you can go lower down to cobra. Exhale, draw your hips up to downward dog. Pedal it out if you need to. Inhale, grab your right leg with your left leg with your right hand. Exhale, come back. Inhale, grab your right leg with your left hand. Exhale, come back. Walk your hands back to meet your feet. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Let's hang out here for a second as we catch our breath. You can rest your belly on your knees if you need to. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, prayer hands. All right, let's do that one more time. Inhale, arms up high. Float them down into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Walk your hands out to plank. Uncurl your toes to up dog or baby cobra. Draw your hips up to downward dog. You're still in that wide leg here. Grab your right hand on your left leg. Exhale, come back. Inhale, grab your right leg with your left hand. Shine your heart through. Exhale, come back. Walk your hands back to a forward fold. And you can stay there just a minute. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, exhale, prayer hands. Good job. All right, we're gonna move into like a second flow here. You can bring your toes together this time. You're gonna inhale, reach your arms up high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Walk your hands out to plank. Lower down to your belly. Cobra or up dog. Come back down. And instead of pushing ourselves up to downward dog, we're going to push ourselves back to a child's pose. Wide leg. So your knees come to both sides of the mat. Sink your hips back to your heels. Your toes come to touch. And rest your forehead on the mat. Catch your breath here. That was a pretty good warm up. I'm a little sweaty and out of breath. if you'd like to get a stretch in your tricep, you can keep your head on a mat and just take your hands, place them together, and then draw them over your head. Feels really good if you need that tricep stretch. Take one last inhale here, really fill up the belly. And on the exhale, you're gonna push yourself forward to come to your stomach. We're gonna do some lying back bends, some heart opening poses on the floor. So for all these heart opening poses, since some of you are beginners, I just wanted to I wanna protect your spine as much as I can from a virtual standpoint. So it's hard to see what you guys are doing. So when you do a back bend, you want to make sure that you are always continuously drawing your your belly button into your back. So a lot of times our posture's like this, where we're just hanging and our stomach is splayed out. I want you to really draw it in and back. So think of your tailbone drawing down to the ground and your belly button comes up and in. So you're not like this. I stand like this a lot because I have an arch back, so I have to remember to come up and in, especially when you're doing a back bend. So when you come back like this, you're protecting your spine. If you're like this and then you go back, it's going to pinch and hurt. So you want to make sure that this motion happens and then go back. That was something when I first started yoga, I couldn't get it. And I was always like, why does this hurt so bad? And then when I took my instructor training, I was like, that aha moment. So hopefully you can leave with that today. So you're going to be laying on your mat. We're just going to do some lying back bends, or they're called bow. So you can rest your right cheek on the mat. Your hands can come to your side. Palms are facing down. We're going to inhale, and on the exhale, all four limbs are going to come off the ground, kind of like we're flying. Remember to keep that stomach drawn in. Your shoulders are drawn down away from your ears. The crown of your head, the top of your head is shooting forward. Really squeeze the glute muscles. And on the exhale, you're going to drop your entire body, and your left cheek is going to come down to the mat. Rest a second here. Breathe. On the inhale, we're going to come up and do it again. You can point your toes. See if you can go a little bit higher this time. Squeeze everything. Exhale, drop your right cheek to the mat. If this is too easy for you, you can come more into a bow pose. If you want to look up, you can. If you're like, no, don't worry about it. Bow pose is when you grab your feet. And then when you go up to squeeze, everything comes up. Your knees are going to want to go out, but you want to counteract that and push them together to make everything come up. Exhale, come down. I feel more of a workout when I am just here than when I do the bow pose. So don't feel like you need to do that or you need to get there, because I feel like I'm squeezing more. I feel like I'm getting more of a workout this way than any other way. Exhale, come back down. We're building strength in that lower back here. We're opening up our heart, shining it forward. And I want you to come back to your stomach Place your hands under your shoulders. You're on your toes and you're gonna push up to a plank. Exhale, downward dog. Downward dog always feels good after that pose because it's going, your back is going the opposite way. It's getting that stretch. Feels good to release that tension. Walk out your dog here. Inhale and exhale. On the inhale, you're going to drop to your knees. We're going to do camel pose now. Camel's always fun too. So I'm going to do a beginner and a intermediate level again. So camel, we're going to draw your shoulders down and away from your ears. Maintaining that posture right there. Place your lower hands on your back. Really shine your chest forward. The key thing to remember in camel pose is to keep your crown in line with your spine. So the top of your head should always be aligned in your spine. A lot of people like to drop their heads to get like a really cool like yoga pose, like a Instagram worthy like picture, but it's not safe for your spine. So try to keep it straight. And you're just gonna, while your heart is shining forward, you're just gonna draw your knees back or your body back a little bit while maintaining that straight spine. So your heart is shining forward, you're leaning back a tiny bit, and your head is looking up. So you're also engaging that ab strength. Inhale, come back up. We're gonna counteract that pose with like a baby child's pose where you like curl up in a ball, grab your heels. Inhale, exhale. The next inhale, come back up. We're gonna do that again. Shine your chest forward, draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Put your hands on your lower back. If you want something a little bit more deeper, you can take your hands and place them on your heels, lean back, making sure your that spine is straight again. Keep your head straight, look up the ceiling. One last breath cycle here. The exhale, come back up, lead with your chest, and then fold into that child's pose again. Inhale and exhale. One more time. On the inhale, come back up. Lean back. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Gaze is at the ceiling. Exhale, come back up. This time, as you come into a child's pose, make your knees go as wide as the mat, toes come to touch, and settle into a wide leg child's pose. I know like it doesn't really feel like much, but that pose does a lot for your lower back, the love handles area. It's great for strength building. That's also good to open up that chest too. Inhale one last time. On the exhale, come back up. You're gonna move to boat pose. So we're gonna start on our booties. Your legs are bent out in front of you. Grab a drink of water if you need it. Okay, for boat pose, I like to move my butt out of the way. Get grounded. Otherwise, it's all mushy and you never know what could happen. So this is boat pose, like the first level. If you want to take it up a notch, you can raise one leg, place it down, and then raise the other leg, and just kind of play with your ab strength. Remember that spinal engagement where you're drawing your stomach in, your tailbone is going down, your head is in line. That is really going to help your balance. Kind of play where you are this morning. Every day is different. Everybody is different. So if you look different than somebody else, don't worry about it. If you're like, wow, I'm strong today, then you can come up here. I'm like, my core is shaking hard right now. If you can feel it, it'd be crazy. This is boat pose. And then the full extension is this, but I'm not really there yet. So I'm gonna stay here. Breathe, inhale and exhale. Your palms are facing up towards the sky. Exhale, roll forward and kind of give yourself a hug. Draw your chin to your chest. Just release all that tension that was on your spine. Breathe, inhale and exhale. We're gonna do that one more time. Actually, let's do it 2 more times. It's almost summertime. We gotta look good in those bathing suits. Breathe here. Start to get too shaky. Play with your legs again. Come back down, but still challenge yourself. Inhale one last time. Exhale, fold over your legs. Come back up. Inhale, and you can also grab the back of your legs if you want a little bit more stability too. Play with your balance a little bit more so than strength. And then the exhale, you're going to come up to staff pose, which is just your legs out in front of you. Rock back and forth and move your flesh away from your sit bones. You're going to bend your right leg. Draw it into your stomach. Your right hand is going to come to the ground next to your butt. Your left hand is going to draw up to the sky. Sit up nice and tall. And you're going to place your left elbow on your right knee. And you're going to do a deep twist here. Look to the back of the room, the back of your mat. Inhale and exhale. Every time you inhale, I want you to go a little bit deeper. Every time you inhale, just roll your head up a little bit taller and twist a little bit more. Twisting is like rinsing out a dirty rag. It's just detoxifying everything in our body. One last breath here. Exhale, come back to center. Place your right leg down. Draw your left knee in now. Left hand comes to the ground. Right hand draws up. And then place it on the opposite knee. Lay on your back. Once you're done twisting, I want you to take your feet and bend them and try to bring them as close to your butt as possible. We're going to come into bridge pose here. With bridge pose, as you lift up, your knees are going to want to move out to the side again. It's like that natural tendency we have. So you have to try to draw them in towards each other while pushing up. That is where like you'll feel and notice the strength of your body. So as you come up, inhale, draw your hips up to the ceiling. Keep your knees together. Push, 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 push. Squeeze your glutes, your quads. Take your hands and clasp them under your butt. Shimmy your shoulders like underneath your chest. Really draw that chest forward. Keep pushing, keep drawing up and together. See how high you can go. Inhale and exhale. Inhale one more time, and on the exhale, unclasp your hands. Slowly roll your body back down. Grab your knees and give yourself a hug. Bring your knees back down. We're going to do it 2 more times. So draw your feet into your butt as much as possible. Draw your hips up to the ceiling while drawing your knees together and upward. Once you feel strong here, clasp your hands together and start to shimmy your shoulders. Shine your heart towards the ceiling. Lead with that heart. That's what today's class is all about. Squeeze those butt cheeks together. Squeeze your quads. Use your hands to push away from the mat as high as you can go. Breathe here. Exhale, unclasp the hands. Slowly come back down. And then give yourself a hug. One last time. Feet come to the booty. Draw your hips up. Clasp your hands. And then shine your heart up. In this last one here, really, as you inhale, really fill up your belly so you can see it get bigger. And then exhale out the mouth. Exhale, and then come back down. Take your feet as wide as the mat. Your knees are still bent. And you're just going to windshield wiper them now. So drop them to the left side. Feel a stretch on the outside of your right hip. Switch to the other side. And on the exhale, switch to the other side. If you want a deeper stretch in your hip, you can take your left ankle and place it on top of your right knee. Just gently pull it down to the ground. That natural weight will just deepen that stretch in that hip. Here. Switch to the other side. Do the same thing on this side. Just take that right ankle and place it on the left knee. Slowly draw it down. Remembering to keep your shoulders intact on the ground. Don't make them come up. Try to keep them flat as possible. Gently come back up to center. We are going to go into a shoulder stand and a plow pose. If you can't do a shoulder stand or plow pose, you can come into legs up a wall where you just keep your legs up. Anytime you put your feet above your heart, it is energizing, it is detoxifying, it's giving your heart a rest because your heart pumps blood out and down. This way your blood is flowing to your heart, so it's kind of revitalizing you. So this is good. You can stay here. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can come into a shoulder stand. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put your hips up high. You're gonna kick your legs up and you're gonna kind of place your hands on your lower back like we did with camel. So this is a shoulder stand. If you're really good, you're supposed to be like completely straight, but I can't really do a handstand or anything yet, so this is good. Plow pose then is this pose, but you draw your toes down to the ground. Place your hands out and you gotta stretch along that back spine. And your chin is drawn into your chest. Kind of feels awkward, but it feels really good on your back spine. You can come back up. If you were in plow, you can come back up to legs up the wall pose. Inhale, and on the exhale, draw your legs back down. We're gonna do one last spinal twist. So your arms are gonna come out on the side long. You're gonna take your left hand, grab your right knee, and draw it over to your left side. Try to keep your heart open here, both shoulders straight and lying on the mat. And then take your gaze to the right side of your mat. Inhale and exhale. One more inhale, and on the exhale, draw your knee back up. We're gonna do the other side. So place your right leg down, grab your left knee with your right hand, twist to the right side, keeping your shoulders down, and look to the left side of your mat. Inhale, and on the exhale, come back up. You can grab that pillow one more time. For Savasana, we're gonna lay in that pose we started with. with a pillow under your upper body. Your chest is open. Your arms can be wherever they want, really. You can keep your legs in a bound ankle if you want to get a stretch in your hip again. They can be out long. Inhale and exhale. I'm sorry I don't have music today. Really imagine your muscles just melting into the ground one at a time. You can start at your feet and just each muscle gently melt into the ground. Quiet the mind. I'm going to stay here for a few minutes. I'm going to read the quote that I started class with again. It says, "To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that the prisoner was you." If we tend to continue to lead our lives with bad habits, without intention, we hold grudges, then you might become the prisoner within yourself. If we continue to sweep things under the rug without truly forgiving, we're choosing not to love. When we forgive others and ourselves, we change the future. We're moving forward, leading with our hearts. Normally, I have us all take out our journal and write down what we want to journal, but I thought it was good enough to just meditate on the things we need to forgive ourselves for and forgive others for today. If you want to journal after class, you're more than welcome to do that. Inhale one last time. Exhale. Open up your eyes, wiggle your fingers, your toes, make your body back up. You can roll to whatever side you need to roll to see me. Come back up. Meet me in a seated position. So as you go about your day today, just think about how you can lead with your heart, lead with forgiveness. I'm especially learning this with my children lately. Thank you all for coming. Namaste.